Hello, this is Freddy Fazbear, the FNAF theorist, coming to you with another theory of Five Nights at Freddy's. This one will be concerning the Bite of 87 and 3 events which most likely occurred, going from least likely to likely. I guess we should begin, and the first theory actually involves Freddy Fazbear, the animatronic the place is named after. He is supposed to, while a child was climbing on him during a gig, he got mad because he had been interrupted while singing and bit the frontal lobe out of a girl that had been climbing on him. People say that this is true because he has handprints on his face, implying that a girl was climbing on him, and that proves that he was the cause of the Bite of 87. I don't think so, because his teeth, obviously, if they had bitten something, or at least bitten a part of the head out, the person would not have survived, because Freddy probably could have engulfed the head of the kid and taken it off clean. Or if he did bite off the frontal lobe, he would have killed the child, because his teeth are more made to rip apart and stuff, if I had to guess, because those teeth just would not leave a clean cut. Unlike the other animatronics I will mention, but I'm just going to say right now that Freddy is not the cause of the Bite of 87, and if you believe that, that's your thing. These are just theories. They aren't proven at all, but you can decide what you think. I do not think it was Freddy, but this is your choice. Second theory is actually one that was widely believed until the prequel came out, and it changed my opinion, and it changed a lot of people's opinions, but I just want to say right now that if I had to believe any of these three theories and it was not the third one, I would believe this one. And it is actually that Foxy caused the Bite of 87. This one was widely believed until the prequel, but it has recently changed due to some evidence that was appeared in the prequel. That's getting tiresome. That a little girl was calling him rude names and tearing out some of his fur and just messing with him altogether. And in a fit of rage, Foxy bit out her frontal lobe. That is supposed to have been the Bite of 87. Now, I don't think that this is it anymore, because as I stated in a previous video, he bit out the frontal lobe of a night guard that had been killing children. And I think that if any of the animatronics had actually bitten out the frontal lobe of a kid, a customer, they would have instantly been destroyed so that the customers could see that they weren't going to take any funny business. But because the night guard was the killer, they kept Foxy kind of as a memorial to the hero that the animatronics could be when allowed. But etc., etc. I don't think that Foxy actually caused a real Bite of 87, although it could have been dubbed that due to the double murder that happened that day. Not so much as a murder as 2 attacks, but you must be asking, what 2 attacks? Well, Foxy has a counterpart named Mangle, who I believe caused the actual Bite of 87. While the night guard was killed that day, the bigger news story was that this has been released as true, that Mangle, while kids like to take him apart and whatnot, and that's why he's in such a deformed state when you see him, and he's all wiry and not got any of his parts but his head and his hook, and that kid, probably on the day that Bite of 87 happened, kids were tearing him apart as usual, but because the pizzeria was going to close in a few days, the employees had kind of left out the prime directive that he could not attack any children, and really, I don't think he cared, because he didn't have a reason to protect the pizzeria anymore because it was going to close down. So when a kid started really messing with him, like trying to take off his head or something, he bit the frontal lobe out of the girl that was doing this, and that is why it is dubbed as Bite of 87. Not really because the night guard was killed, that probably happens often, but because the Foxy the Mangle bit the frontal lobe out of one of the customers. That's why he's not in the second game, because all the toy animatronics but Mangle were taken as evidence to prove the guiltiness of the dead night guard, and Mangle was destroyed for having bitten a customer. That makes more sense than keeping him even in disrepair like Foxy, because people say that Foxy did it because his jaw's hanging loose. Well, if you had listened to my earlier theory, you would see that he was in disrepair for 15 years since he disobeyed a prime directive. And since Foxy is a more primitive animatronic, his prime directives aren't given to them daily. They're just there. they can't be turned off unless manually gotten inside and turned off. And since he disobeyed it, he fell into disrepair for 15 years until his system could reboot. And that's why he's in disrepair, because no one could fix him while this was happening. They weren't going to fix something that wouldn't even work for them. So they just left it there, so when it came on, they could use it. But Mangle was never seen again because he was destroyed after the bite of 87 because he had bitten out the frontal lobe as a child. He also has sharper teeth than Foxy, making it even easier for him to kill a child. Now, even though you can decide which theory you believe, I think Mangle caused it and Foxy because they both killed people that day. I'm not sure the Night Guard even made news since he was a child killer or his death or anything, because Freddy Fazbear wanted to keep this really quiet. And they kind of wanted to leave out that it was a staff member that made the killings. But I think that Mangle did it. Like this video, subscribe to me for more theories, and leave in the comment section which of these three people caused the bite of 87. Do you think Freddy caused it, Foxy caused it, or Foxy and more so Mangle caused the bite of 87? I think it is Mangle due to the new evidence of the prequel, but hey, these are just theories. This is Freddy Fazbear ending his theory on the bite of 87.